Hey everybody, it's Everett back with you from Hood Time Welding. If you watched the last video, you know today we're working on the racks for um, the barbecue pit. These ones are different from any of the other ones I made because these ones are meant to be turned by a single person. Um, and they're actually pretty good size. They're going to be like 31 by, what was it, 51. We got 4 of them to make. But yeah, these ones, like I said, are going to be different in that we want to be able to make them so that you can turn them with a single person, so you actually have 2 sides to it. There's going to be a hinge involved, some bolts to hold it closed. You'll get to see all that. So for right now, I've got my measurements taken, did all the figuring, and I think I got it right. But to make sure that I do, we're going to start with just one. I like to make, when I've got multiples of something to make, I like to tack down some pieces so we can just throw the parts in. But with this being, we got to experiment first to see if this is going to work, the size, if everything's going to work out with turning it. Because what we're going to do is we're going to have, these are going to be on each end. I'll have a piece of flat stock off this side, just on the one side, and then the angles are going to be welded onto the base itself. So what you'll do is you'll pull it out some so that these disengage from the angles, turn it, push it back in. So there's a few moving parts there. There's a few moving parts with the hinge, with the bolts. So we need to make sure that everything's going to work like it's supposed to before we go in, cut all the parts, and that we've got the end pins long enough, that we're placing them in the right place, the width-wise, that the width's going to work in the pockets that are made for each one. So like I said, I crunched the numbers. I think I got it right, but I'd rather just start with one and get that all fit up and test it before we actually go through and start a little bit of an assembly line. The bolts are going to have little handles on them so that you can just turn them by hand. Like I said, there's a couple little special details that we're going to be making multiples up. But like I said, for the first one, we want to get this first one in there, make sure everything's going to fit like it's supposed to and like we think it's going to before we actually start pumping them out. Because like I said, we have 8 racks to make. So you have 4 bases, 4 tops. They're all going to be the same size, so that part of it we can sort of pump out. But once you get past making these, it's going to be a matter of, each base we're going to have to set up these pins and our little plates and all that stuff with handles. So anyways, after I blathered on for a bit there, let's go ahead and get started. So you can see the base is officially finished. These were the only things I had left on the base, and I got those finished. What it was is I just needed to know exactly how high to locate them so that it kept the rack pretty well level. So I put these 2 screws in to simulate that second rack that sits on top. These are actually should be higher than anything. These ones are longer. I think the ones I'm going to be making are probably going to be about that tall, but I'd rather go with something a little bit longer to make sure that we've got that extra space. And so the big thing is you can see on that side and then coming up here, they don't hit. So we know, so we know that nothing's going to hit when we finish them up. And then, like I said, you can see you pull this out, you got plenty of room, push it back in, and it holds the rack in place. Pull it, spin it, push it back. And you got just a little bit of play there, but I'd rather, there's going to probably be a little bit of variation when I make the racks. That way, you got just a little bit of room. And I mean, what do you got? Maybe an inch difference between the 2 heights there, which is fine. But like I said, you got a nice handle to flip them around, push it back in. She's all set. So now we know our rack size is the right size. Like I said, we've got all these located. We've got all their tabs. So everything for these racks is figured out, other than just putting the 2 hinges on, which isn't any big deal. But yeah, we needed to get this first one made. This one will probably be the longest one, just because we were putting extra brackets on here. But like I said, now the base is totally done. But making sure we have all our clearances on when they spin. Making sure we have plenty of bar on either side so that they won't come flying off and drop into the pit, anything like that. The only thing might probably add on the other side is I might put a washer, because when this stuff's done, they're going to have to pick them up off these and set them somewhere. I guess I don't really need a washer. I don't know. That's something I can decide at the end and just throw them on if I think it really needs it. But like I said, the big thing is we got the sizes right. We got everything like that right. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get the expanded metal cut out for this one. I have it like at the top length, or not the top length, but as much the width wise as big as I can make them with what the expanded metal sheets we have. So we're going to go ahead and get it cut out and make sure that that all fits. But we should be good. So let's continue. sorry guys, I got a little ahead of myself the other day, and I just finished this rack up. Just really trying to get this one done. I'm under a time crunch, so when the battery ran out, I didn't notice right away, so I just went ahead and or so I didn't even notice. And when I finally did notice, I was already going on. So I made the other side of the rack, which you guys seen me make the racks before. Put it together. You saw I already used nuts on one side. This side I used washers here. I cut the hinges down so we have an inch gap all the way around for the for holding it closed. Here, let me get one of these out. Just a bolt with a little piece of round bar on top, so it's like a nice T handle. So all they got to do is just put them in and spin them in. The only thing is I think, yeah, they're gonna have to make sure these are lined up this way so they don't catch on the bar here. The way these work, I think we already showed you, is we just have to pull that and then swing it and push it back in. One of the things I noticed was, since this is just round bar down the sides, this had a little bit of a dip. So on the ends here, this wasn't, with the dip in it, this way, you had to push down on it a little bit and then push it in, because you had that little bit of a dip that one side, and I know with the other side of the rack on, it was just going to exaggerate that. So what I did to fix that, as you can see, I put a piece of flat stock right here, right across the middle, and that stiffened it up. You know, once you get more weight, and that was just with the racks on it, once you get all the chickens on it, it's going to get even worse, so it's going to make it worse. So that's why I decided to just go with a piece of flat bar across the center. But now we're in production mode. Now it's time to just go to town. I'm going to go to town and get all the squares made up and then make them tops and bottoms. So yeah, like I said, we're under a little bit of a time crunch, so it's been me just trying to bust butt, get things done. But let's get going. I didn't take building all of them. I just did a video of you know, putting it together, each part of it, and that. And I know it was a little disjointed, and I'm sorry about that. It was just like on the very first one I got going on it, and just wanted to get it done, and I forgot to turn the camera on, and then. But I think they all came out pretty nice. They're working pretty nice. They got a little play. Some of them got a little bit more play than others, but they're still gonna stay pretty level during cooking. Like I said, they all came out real nice, but again, sorry if things were a little disjointed. This is a new day, that's why I look different too. Um, I got going on these. I wanted to get them done, and then by the time I got them done yesterday, I was beat. So I didn't get a chance to do the video to finish up here, but like I said, got them all done. The whole barbecue's done. People have been loving it on Facebook. Don't forget, you can always check out my Facebook because my videos are behind what my Facebook is. But yeah, everybody's loving it. I'm actually getting interest on maybe doing some quarter size of these. We'll see if that actually comes through, you know. But yeah, as always, any comments, questions, concerns, anything, I love hearing from you guys. Big thumbs up if you like the video. And we'll catch you on the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.